Exponential notation. Students know what it means for a number to be raised to a power and how to represent the repeated multiplication symbolically. Students know the reason for some bases requiring parentheses. So if I have 4 times itself 7 times, I have 4 to the 7th. If I have 7 halves times itself 21 times, I have 7 halves to the 21st, but they have to be in parentheses. Otherwise, what it is it's 7 21 times over 2, and that's not what we want. The next one is 3.6 to the 47th, so that means that 3.6 is being multiplied by itself 47 times. Negative 13 times itself 6 times is negative 13 in parentheses to the 6th. Negative 11.63 34 times is negative 11.63 to the 34th. Again, you need parentheses. Ooh, a negative fraction. So negative 1/14 multiplied by itself 10 times is parentheses negative 1 over 14 to the 10th. 12 to the 15th means that 12 is being multiplied by itself 15 times. X times itself 185 times means it's x to the 185th. Negative 5 times itself 10 times means negative 5 to the 10th in parentheses. X to the n means x being multiplied by itself n times. Why must we use parentheses in examples 2, 3, and 4? In the case where the base is either a negative or fraction, parentheses tell us what part of the expression is included in the base and therefore going to be multiplied repeatedly. Because if I have negative 4 to the 3rd, that's not the same thing as negative 4 to the 3rd. This one here means I'm going to have negative times 4 times 4 times 4. So I would do these first and then apply the negative, where this one is negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. Will these products be positive or negative, and how do you know? Well, I know that if I do a negative times a negative, that's going to be a positive. So if I do a negative times a negative times a negative, this will become a positive times a negative, and then therefore being a negative. So if I have it 12 times, that means that I'll have a pair, so it'll be positive because there's an even number of bases. 2 negatives multiplied creates a positive. But if I do it 13 times, it'll be negative because there's an odd number of negative bases. Is it necessary to do all the calculations to determine the sign of the product? Why or why not? Absolutely not. Because an odd number gives negative. An odd number of a negative basis creates a negative product, and an even number of negative bases creates a positive product. So since 95 is odd, it'll be negative. Since 122 is even, it'll be positive. If n is a positive even number, then negative 55 to the n is a positive product. So we have even, positive. And then if n's an odd number, it'll be a negative product. Josie says that negative 15 times itself 6 times is negative 15 to the 6th. Is she correct, and how do you know? No, she's not, because that is saying that you have negative 15 times 15 times 15 times 15 times 15 times 15, which is not, this is not the same. So that's that, which is not the same as this. This is negative 15 to the 6. That means I'm going to have negative 15 written 6 times.